Of course, the oil and gas industry is a huge contributor to state revenues. As the commissioner said, energy royalties account for about 20% of general fund revenues to the state. But a statewide advocacy group says there may be some pitfalls when an industry gets that big. Common Cause New Mexico has come out with a study showing the big financial stick the industry carries when it comes to New Mexico politics. Steve Allen is Common Cause Executive Director. We found him on his cell phone at the Roundhouse when we called to ask why they did this study.
Well, Common Cause New Mexico has actually done a series of similar reports over the last few years looking into different industries and the connection between campaign contributions given by this industry to elected officials and what effect that may or may not have on policy making in our state. And this is just another in that series, and we believe it's very timely given the current attention given to our state's lack of serious campaign finance laws.
You've cataloged a lot of numbers in your report, but essentially they're saying that the oil and gas industry wields a heavy financial stick when it comes to the state legislature. What are some of the charges you make?
Well, it's worth pointing out, too, that our state benefits quite a bit from the oil and gas industry. We generate quite a bit of wealth for the general funds and for our state coffers through the industry, and it also employs quite a few people in the industry. So, this isn't something, this report isn't designed to slam the industry. It's just to point out the way these things work, the way the campaign contributions often create a favorable policy-making environment for the industry that's giving those contributions. Let me take one specific example from the report, which is Senator Ingle, back in 2005, introduced a bill that would essentially cap the fines for any industry that's been accused of violating a series of environmental laws, about 6 different environmental laws here in the state. And that was considered, of course, a bill that was friendly to the oil and gas industry. And if you look at the breakdown of the votes, which we've included in the report, you'll see that there's a trend that the legislators who voted for the bill received quite a bit more campaign contributions from the oil and gas industry as opposed to the legislators who voted against the bill. So, these things can be subtle, but there does seem to be a connection, and we've seen that with other legislation as well. And all of that is in this report.
You make the point, Steve Allen, that the oil and gas industry contributes both to Democrats and Republicans, but that friendly legislators are likely to get 2, maybe 5 times more money than unfriendly legislators?
That's exactly right. We tracked about half a dozen pieces of legislation from 2005 onwards, and we did see that trend, that the legislators who voted with the industry did get approximately 2 to 5 times the amount of campaign contributions as the legislators who voted against the industry.
Now, you make the charge. This is a pretty healthy allegation against the oil and gas industry. What would be your solution to it?
Well, I actually don't view this as a charge against the oil and gas industry. I view it as a charge against our entire broken system of campaign financing here in New Mexico. We are one of 5 states in the country that has no campaign contribution caps whatsoever. And, that would be a great first step. And there's several bills that have been introduced during this legislative session that would do that. Common Cause believes that the ultimate solution is to implement public campaign financing for executive and legislative offices here in New Mexico as a way to cut out the special interest influence on the policy-making process in our state.
Now, what do you think the prospects are for that passing?
I don't think public campaign financing has a very good shot of passing this current legislative session because of the budget crunch that our state is experiencing. I think a campaign contribution limits bill is quite likely. There's been several proposals made, some better than others, and we are quite hopeful and working quite hard to get the best of these bills passed.
Steve Allen of Common Cause, New Mexico.